Helena, a 23-year-old noblewoman from the Blue faction, lay chained on all fours in the Hippodrome of Constantinople. Her wrists and ankles were bound in iron shackles, her back marked with fresh lash wounds, and her body covered only in torn rags. The sun scorched her naked knees and palms as she knelt on the hot sand, blood trickling from her wounds into the ground. The roar of 50,000 spectators filled the massive stone arena, their screams and laughter merging into an inhuman cacophony. They were here for entertainment, to witness a spectacle of calculated cruelty orchestrated by the Byzantine Empire. Behind her, Helena heard the heavy footsteps of guards and the snorting breath of a massive bull being led into the arena. The crowd's noise grew louder, more excited. She couldn't see the animal, but she could feel its presence drawing closer. This was not an execution. It was a punishment designed to humiliate and break her without killing her. Helena did not yet know that 3 other women had already died in this arena that week, nor did she know that what was about to happen to her had been carefully planned to send a message to those who dared oppose the Green faction. The Byzantine Empire, a Christian civilization that claimed moral superiority over pagan Rome, had perfected the art of public spectacle as a tool of state terror. The Hippodrome, a structure built in the 3rd century and expanded by Constantine, was not just an arena for chariot races, but a theater of cruelty. It was here that emperors demonstrated their power, using faction rivalries to control the population and staging brutal punishments to instill fear. Helena's suffering was not an isolated incident. In 532 AD, during the Nika riots, Emperor Justinian had trapped 50,000 people in the Hippodrome and ordered his general Belisarius to slaughter them. Soldiers had methodically killed men, women, and children, turning the arena into a bloodbath. Afterward, Justinian's officials had identified specific individuals, including women like Helena, for special treatment. These women, wives and daughters of Blue faction officials who had opposed the emperor, had committed no crime other than being related to the wrong people. For 3 days, Helena was held in the underground chambers beneath the Hippodrome, denied food, water, and dignity. On the 4th day, she was brought into the arena, her hair hacked off with knives, her body weak and defeated. She was paraded around the track, the crowd shouting and insults and throwing rotten food at her. At the end of the circuit, she was made to kneel, and her sentence was read: exile, confiscation of property, and permanent social disgrace. But Helena's punishment did not end there. The Byzantines had developed specific methods for breaking women who threatened the political order. One of these methods was the use of animals for psychological terror. Helena was not being executed. The bull was not going to gore her. The guards, controlling the trained animal with ropes and prods, positioned it directly behind her, close enough that she could feel its weight, its presence. The terror was absolute. Helena believed she was about to die, and the anticipation lasted minutes, feeling like hours. Finally, the guards pulled the bull away, letting it back toward the gates. Helena collapsed, still chained, still on all fours, sobbing, shaking, completely broken. The crowd erupted, some cheering, some laughing, some in horrified silence. She had been destroyed without being touched, reduced to pure animal terror, stripped of dignity, composure, and humanity. She was released the next day, sent into exile, and died 2 years later, her cause of death unrecorded. The spectacle had achieved its purpose. Other women saw what happened to Helena. Other families understood the cost of opposition.
Other nobles made different political choices, all because of a bull and a woman, and calculated psychological destruction performed as entertainment. This was what the Byzantines did. This was what Christian emperors approved. This was what happened in the Hippodrome for over 1,000 years. The ruins of the Hippodrome still exist in modern Istanbul, but most tourists have no idea about the massacre, the blindings, the humiliations, the systematic terror that history has sanitized and covered over. The Byzantines were not primitive barbarians. They were a literate Christian civilization with Roman legal tradition and Greek philosophical heritage. They chose this, refined it, perfected it over centuries. And they're not unique. Every empire that concentrates power develops these methods. Every system that claims absolute authority finds ways to destroy opponents spectacularly. So what do we learn from this? 3 things. First, civilization does not prevent atrocity. It provides better tools for committing it. Second, public participation in violence requires careful cultivation. Faction loyalty, fear, religious justification, entertainment scarcity, permission from authority. But once cultivated, populations will watch almost anything. Third, the most effective terror targets identity more than body. Strip someone of dignity in public and you destroy them more completely than execution ever could. The Byzantines understood this. That is why so many Hippodrome spectacles focused on humiliation, why they stripped, shaved, paraded, and mocked, why they used animals for psychological terror, why they made sure tens of thousands witnessed the destruction. The body dies once. The humiliated person dies socially and lives with that death. Remember Helena, who died at 25, still trapped in the moment when that bull approached her, still feeling helpless terror, still hearing 50,000 people laugh. Remember the 73 noblewomen paraded after the Nika riots. Remember the 30,000 citizens massacred in the stands. Remember Emperor Romanos blinded before a crowd. Remember every rebel who wore a fake crown before execution. Remember every person tied to a chariot and dragged. Remember every victim of processions of shame and mock trials and faction violence. They deserve to be remembered as more than footnotes, more than statistics, more than examples of Byzantine brutality. They were people. They had names. Most of those names are lost, erased by the same empire that destroyed their owners. But we remember the system. We understand the pattern. We recognize it when it appears, and we refuse to let